Welcome to another community conversation. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson. I'm here today with Brian Robinson and Frank Devine from the Rotary Club. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Brian, you're the treasurer of Monarch 1911 Society and on the board of the Friends of the Monarch. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Why two boards?
The Monarch 1911 Society is owned by, or is formed from the Rotarians of Medicine Hat, and the Friends of the Monarch is like 14 years, I think, this year, and it has the legacy and the history of helping and being probably a key part of why the Monarch is still there for us.
Okay.
So when we took over the Monarch or got access or title to the Monarch, we reached out to the Friends, the old board of the Friends, right away. Got into discussion with them. Together, we helped them get it revitalized, get its status all reset, and then in March we had an AGM where a new board was struck. That board is made up of the old Friends of the Monarch, but they're also we have a 50% component are Rotarians from Medicine Hat as well. And so now we have the two boards that are going to work together, and we have the cooperation gives Friends actually a seat at the table. So like when Friends wants to do a project or has an initiative that they want to do, they don't have to ask for permission to do it. They just have to do it, prove out the work and get it done. A lot different position than they've been in over the past 14 years.
Okay.
And so I sit on the two boards as just the conduit between the two.
The Rotarians have been around now for, I guess, 100 years, if not more.
A few more in Medicine Hat, yeah.
Yeah. So then what was behind the Rotarians getting involved and forming Monarch 1911 Society to bring the Monarch back into operation?
So Frank and I are members of the Samus Rotary Club in Medicine Hat. So we meet on Thursday evenings. There are three clubs in Medicine Hat. We have the Medicine Hat Club, which was the original club that is, that's over 100-year history. We have the Samus Club formed separately, and we chartered in 1977, and then we have the Sunrise Club that meets on Tuesday mornings. And so the Samus Club was trying to find a project that we could, like a service project, a project that we could hopefully energize our membership, maybe gain a few more members, and do service, do something that we're not always necessarily out selling tickets or something a little more that you can put your hands on. And
okay, so if a young person wants to get involved with either the Friends of the Monarch, Rotary, or the Monarch 1911 Society, how do they go about that? So
if you're going to be like Friends of the Monarch, you can reach them at their website.
Okay.
Or which is their email, I guess,
okay,
which is friendsofthemonarch@gmail.com. Okay. For Rotary, just reach out to one of the clubs, work through it and become a Rotarian between their system. To be a member of the Monarch board, you first have to be a Rotarian, and then work through the Rotary system as well.
okay,
to become a member of the board.
Now, I've heard the term bandied about. Rotarians like to be a vehicle of service.
Yes.
So what other projects have Rotary been involved in Medicine Hat?
Well, for our club, the one that's probably the most recognizable for us is Samus Rotary Park. Okay. We built it probably over a 10-year period, probably 10 years ago. We were even lucky enough to even get the road changed to Samus Rotary Way. That was a big project for us. Annually, we give to the Women's Shelter. We used to be Champion Center, but I think now it's Mustard Seed and the Root Cellar and all. We have a charitable giving there. Being Rotary, we also do some international projects. So we have a partner club that's in the Puerto Vallarta area, and we do quite a bit water filters, schools, like we help with that. And what's nice about that is we partner with other clubs from around the world and to do those things as well. So there's a lot of things that Rotary does internationally as well.
Are ladies welcome in Rotary?
Oh yes, sir. They've been in Rotary for, I'm not sure how many years now, but it is great. We have quite a few members in our club are ladies, and even the 1911 board has 3 ladies on with us.
Okay, now you also apparently have a background as a historical contractor.
I personally have, yes. I've worked for Medhat. We've done a lot of work with Medhat. We've done some preliminary work for the Highcroft project, and now we've taken on the Monarch.
So what kind of renovations are you looking at for the Monarch?
Well, the Monarch itself is a strong building. Her foundation is strong, and her shell is very good. It's very good. Over its time, built in 1911, it was 2 buildings. Or 2 separate spaces. The theater was on the west side, and the billiard hall and the Max Cigar Store was on the east side. Had a concrete block wall between it. As if you saw Luke Fandrich's documentary, he explained it very well. During the 30s, in the 35 range, they did a renovation of some sort, but in 1941, when Hop Buell owned it, they changed it to what it is today, and they installed some actually massive steel beams that carry from one wall to the other, and make the auditorium part how it is today. It's all there. All the history is there. If you crawl in the attic or crawl through a hole, all the pieces are still there. It's amazing.
Which is what Luke did in his documentary, clambering through some very dusty, dark areas.
Well, if you're sitting in the auditorium and you look up, that ceiling was built in 1941. If you could see through it, 4 feet higher is the ceiling that was built in 1912. And it's still there, and then the roof above that.
Yeah, I believe the original roof was the old tin enamel plate.
No, not as now. It's a tar and gravel roof that is now.
Okay, and I believe that's one of the major renovations you're looking at doing.
We'd like it. The city, as a custodian of the building, did a good job. The roof was put in 1983. It's patched very well.
Okay.
It has gone past its service life, but we're going to let it sit one more winter, and we have some other things that we have to do. But it is on our list to get done. Yes, sir.
And previously, there's a new air conditioning system, because I remember going back now, must be 15, 16 years. They used to have the old water bath air conditioner.
Yeah, swamp cooler.
I remember people telling me as youngsters, if you sat in the 3 front rows, you always got wet.
Yes.
So there's the roof. Are you going to work on the entrance?
We are starting right like it's probably in the end of May. We're going to have it scaffolded off, and the parapet is deteriorating really badly, and so it's going to be taken down and reconstructed, and that's where we're going to start on the exterior. Yeah.
Now, I imagine one of the other complications with renovations in the Monarch is the old girl has a municipal historical designation.
Yes.
How does that affect what you can and can't do?
Well, elements of the building have been identified as historic. So, like for instance, if you're in the auditorium portion, there's those 2 over the doors that go at the back. There's those 2 tiled areas that are painted. Those are protected areas. We'll have to look at. We're actually going beyond it. It's not as protected as one would think.
Okay.
But with the conservation plan that we're going through it, we're going to be more careful. Like we're taking it back to 1941. That's what we're going to try to do. So the tiles that's on the ceiling, the tiles that's on the walls, that's all 1941. We are going to have them like painted, but we also have to reattach them. Like they've been up there for 80 some years, and they're becoming loose and dislodged. And so the best thing and the most the best way we can do it is we're actually going to like screw them back on like with screws, and then on the walls we have to reattach them a little better. So we're going to keep it, but we have to, you know, we're going to give her some more life. We're going to fix her up so she's better and safer, probably.
Okay, what kind of resources are available to you to make sure that you meet that 1941 appearance?
Well, so the we've gone through the building, found out what it is, what it's made of, how it's made. Some of the paints we've even you scrape them back gently, find out what color they were and what they had. We have an as-built set of drawings now. For the drawing, we've measured the building and actually have a set of drawings, because again, there is no drawings left of that building. And then we have Ginny Gartley, she was from Medicine Hat, and she is a historic architect. So she is going to get us a heritage conservation plan. So with the plan that we've made with the as-builts, she's going to take that and blend that together to a conservation plan. That plan gets submitted to the Alberta government for review. It also gets submitted to the City of Medicine Hat. And with that plan, it's the roadmap that we're going to follow as we go through this. So once we have that plan, and that plan is complete, it's complete from the back wall of the building to the basement. We've identified since November 20th, we've identified every part of that building that needs to be repaired or modernized, and it's in that plan. The plan will get looked over by the Alberta Historic, over by the City of Medicine Hat. If it all gets passed as we've put it through, then we will follow that plan as we go through our intervention.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So have you found any treasures?
For me, there's lots of treasures. Every time I look through the ceiling and find an old ceiling, it's a treasure. The equipment in the basement is interesting. I mean, we have the old carbon arc projectors. We have the old, the one that we would have had when we were kids, like that type of projector. And then now we have our brand new digital projector. We have that. All the splicing equipment, all the other types of equipment, anything that you would have needed to run a movie theater, it's in the basement. We have cleaned up a lot, and we've kept it, and we will reorganize it as a static museum when the theater and the building realizes its full potential. That's what we'll do with it. There's some interesting things. I myself would love to see how a carbon arc projector worked. It looks amazing. I would love to see one actually work.
I don't imagine there are too many carbon arc projectionists left alive.
I don't think so, but you had to be smart. I mean, it's not a walk up, push the button kind of machine.
It was a trade to be a projectionist back in the day, so it was a full-blown trade. There was a lot to it.
Well, the projectionist could not leave the projection room so the projection room has a toilet and a sink and a call button. And when that movie was out and on the projector, he could not leave that room.
Because it was a fire.
It was a fire hazard. The silver nitrate could spontaneously combust.
Yes. It's silver nitrate using the manufacture of explosives.
Yeah.
Just another thing that we discovered, or actually Brian discovered, there's actually fire shutters on every opening going out into the auditorium. So if there was ever a fire in that projection room, all those metal shutters would come down, so it contained the explosion inside the concrete room, and you would just lose the projectionist.
I didn't realize the walls were concrete.
Yes.
And the floor.
Yeah.
The floor's like 10 inches of concrete.
Yeah, the whole thing. It's an explosion-proof room, basically.
Fireproof for sure.
Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, that would be no small feat to refurbish either. Although I suppose it would be part of the historical designation, really.
Correct.
We're actually not restoring that room. What we're doing to that room is all of its scars and war wounds are being left. We are going to paint it, clean it up, but through the plaster, you'll see all the marks. That's part of how we're going to follow the intervention plans. We want the room to show its life.
Because I would imagine the modern digital projectors now must be much smaller than the old carbon arc equipment.
They're not much smaller, but they're much lighter.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's actually a fairly big, comprehensive, and on all the computer system that goes with it, but the weight factor, that one that goes in the basement had to be dismantled into pieces to move. It's substantial weight there. One particular thing about the restoration that I'm excited about is revamping the spiral staircase that went up to the ladies' lounge, which they have boxed in.
Yes.
So we are actually going to open that back up so you can see the grandeur of that spiral staircase. That's a very unique feature in that building.
Well, I would imagine that would likely play into a lot of your private venue rentals when somebody can make a spectacular entrance down the staircase.
Exactly. And especially if you're doing weddings and stuff in there and you want to get some really neat pictures, it would be very neat. Because that room, that ladies' lounge upstairs, the Art Deco room that is with the big mirrored tables and stuff is very interesting for back in the day. So
what are you looking at for the front of the actual entrance of the Monarch?
So the front entrance, the way it is, it's going to be what you see.
Okay.
It'll be returned to the original white with its black accents. And on the east side, where the Max Cigar Store side it was, we want to open that back up and show where the windows and the doors were. Like obviously the bathrooms are behind it, but from the outside, we want the building to represent like it did in 1941 with the main entrance of the theater and then the Max Cigar Store side on it.
So I thought the Max Cigar billiard hall piece was a separate owner.
No, it was always one building.
Yeah.
And always one owner.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yes. Because back when it was originally built in 1911, the one partner ran the movie theater, the other partner ran the cigar store and the pool hall.
Okay.
So now the new modern bathrooms are where the Max Cigar Store used to be, because the bathrooms back in the day, ladies upstairs, men downstairs, which doesn't really accommodate much now. And the amount of bathrooms that you need for a venue that size didn't work out real well for modern code.
A couple of hundred ladies needing the bathroom. They're not going to be looking for a staircase.
Exactly.
Okay, well done. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the whole Monarch Rotary project?
That this is a lot of fun. These are fun projects to enhance our community, and the whole idea behind this was to generate interest in the community, why you would want to be a Rotarian. This is the kind of thing that we do, which is to enhance the community for everyone in the community. So we're trying to recruit new members and younger members that are ambitious and energetic.
Okay, what age do you have to be a Rotarian?
You have to be whatever age you like. If you're under 40, it's a bonus.
Okay.
I'm not saying that all Rotarians are old, but the majority of them are getting up there, the same as all the service clubs in Medicine, like the Elks and the Eagles and the Moose. It's hard to get young people excited about being part of the community and being involved in the community. This is something that's going to be in everyone's face, and this is something that everyone can utilize, so we're hoping that can change a few attitudes.
This is back to your value for service.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you don't have to be a business person, just show up, apply.
Yes.
In Rotary, you represent your vocation.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how it works. You join to Rotary and your vocation is represented. And this project though is a Rotary initiative, but it has a component that we want to highlight service. So not just for Rotarians, like service for all of Medicine Hat. And that was one of the visions that we had, is that we want to have fun in service, a place that, we want to be the light, the beacon, to say that, a community that wants to get together and work together can do it through service. And hopefully we bring, a really important part of the Medicine Hat, back to its vibrant life.
It sounds like the Rotary is also a very good place to find mentorship.
Definitely.
Exactly. The one thing that, like Frank says, we're looking for younger members, but through us, you meet with us, you get to know, you can see how the businessmen did their things. It's experiences that you can take to your everyday job, that it's free. And that's nice. We volunteer our time, but we you gain a tangible asset. You gain the experiences with businessmen around. You get to see how they operated, what they had to say, how they dealt with a problem. And those problems, you can take that back to your job. I mean, that's an important part that you can do by volunteering with your service organizations in your community. You can make yourself, a part of the community, and I think take some hard things back to your job life.
Well, it sounds like the Rotary or Rotarians are developing their own network. It's a word that gets used a lot these days. I just figure I know a guy who knows a guy. But the Rotarians seem to be men and women who know men and women who know men and women and make something happen.
Well, that's exactly true. And in this particular project, we've joked around with our friends that if you're a contractor, electrician, or have any talent that we can use towards the project, and if you're in Frank and I's phone, you're probably going to get a phone call.
Or if you feel like contributing, give Frank or Brian a phone call.
Yeah, true enough. But it's exciting, and it's again, Frank mentioned about the staircase, and one thing with Luke's 11 sold out shows. The first one we kept the staircase cordoned off, and people asked, so then we decided, well, let's leave it open. And the number of people that went up to relive, like go up, see what it was, and then come back down the stairs was amazing. Like the nostalgia. If you're a kid and we're at that theater, you want to see what was the theater, and that's what our goal is. We're going to put it back to what was.
It does seem to be a very family-oriented facility, because again, in Luke's documentary, he had the one lady who was the convenience concession stand.
Yes.
And she was an usher 60 years ago.
Yes.
And she got vivid memories of what it was like.
Oh, yeah.
In the city of Medicine Hat, all the people that are my age know that theater. They had the rights to all the Disney movies. So all the Disney movies were at the Monarch. They weren't at the Town Theater. They were at the Monarch Theatre, because back then different groups were contracted to different theaters. So for all the kids, or the people, like when I was 9 years old and 10 years old going to the theater, it was the Monarch Theatre, not the Town Theatre.
Oh, right.
So.
Well, thank you for coming in, gentlemen. This has been very, very educational. And I mean, I have to admit, I'm very impressed at what you've achieved so far. And if you don't mind, I'll use the word, you appear unstoppable.
We're going to make this work.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is.
Well done again.
Thank you.
I'm Ian Parkinson. This was Community Conversations with Brian Robinson and Frank Devine. Thank you for watching.